Okay, so it really feels like we're all trying to drink from a fire hose these days, doesn't it? Just so much information everywhere. How do you quickly get what you actually need without just, well, drowning in it all? The real challenge isn't just finding the stuff, it's turning all that raw data into something usable, actionable knowledge.
Exactly. And that's really where building a customized AI-powered knowledge management system can make a huge difference. We're talking specifically about retrieval augmented generation here, RAAG, like this architectural pattern that's letting AI move beyond just, well, making things up sometimes. It helps generate accurate, source-grounded text, stuff that's specific to your organization's knowledge.
Right. So our mission today really is to unpack a pretty comprehensive step-by-step framework for actually designing, implementing, and crucially, maintaining a system like that. We want to show you how to build something that's not just smart on paper, but truly effective for you. And the insights we're sharing, they come straight from expert research, especially the incredibly valuable work of Kevin Brake. His guide offers a really clear path through what can often feel like, pretty complex terrain.
Yeah, Kevin's core philosophy is just spot on here. He sees building an effective AI system as creating a living document. It's an ongoing, evolving process, not some one-time project you just set up and forget about. And this directly tackles that classic problem, right? Garbage in, garbage out, GIGO.
Oh, I love that living document idea. It just fundamentally shifts how you think about knowledge, doesn't it? It's not a dusty library. It's dynamic. It's breathing. That insight alone could, I think, transform how a lot of organizations operate.
Absolutely. He often points out that AI's success isn't about how much data you shovel in. It's about what, how, and why you feed it. That's a profound shift from just hoarding information for the sake of it. And this dynamic approach, like he outlines it, is just so different from those static systems we used to rely on, like old SharePoint repositories or internal wikis. They often just fall short now. Things move too fast.
Okay, so the vision is clear, a truly intelligent knowledge system. But how do you actually build it? Where do you start? This framework, interestingly, begins not with code, but with some really crucial foresight. We're launching into what Kevin calls phase one, strategic planning and foundation. Think of it like mapping your whole knowledge landscape before you even think about digging the first trench for your AI. So step one is analyze target audiences and corporate goals. The real aha moment here isn't just having a purpose, which sounds obvious, but realizing that skipping this step, that's how organizations end up with these super sophisticated, maybe expensive AI systems that solve problems nobody actually has. It's like building a GPS for your knowledge before you get in the car.
Totally. And once you've got that strategic clarity, the next logical step, and honestly often an eye-opening one, is to dive deep into your existing content. Which brings us neatly to step two, auditing existing content and creating an input map. This is where you really roll up your sleeves and conduct a detailed audit. Look at everything across SharePoint, Teams, people's local PCs, cloud drives, you name it.
I can imagine that gets messy fast.
Oh, it does. The audit often uncovers, well, chaos. Scattered files, ancient documents nobody's touched in years, inconsistent naming, fragmentation, tons of duplicates, naming conflicts, you know the drill. So to tackle this, you create an input map. You can use tools like Excel or maybe a relational database like MySQL. Think of those as super organized digital filing cabinets. Or even diagramming tools like Lucidchart. You're basically cataloging everything. Location, type, is it a PDF, Word doc, email, its size, and even access patterns.
Access patterns, like who's actually using it.
Exactly. Who's using what, how often. That gives you a real picture of what's vital, not just what's cluttering up the drives. I mean, I've literally seen organizations find documents named really final_v2.docs during this stage.
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay.
It sounds funny, but it perfectly shows the kind of deep-seated chaos this step is designed to untangle.
That makes so much sense. You really can't build a strong house on a, well, shaky foundation of final v2 files. Okay. Then step three is plan a centralized or localized system. This is where you decide, are you going to host your own local language model, maybe using tools like Llama or LM Studio, or work with an external provider like OpenAI or Google Vertex AI? We know the basics. Local means more control, privacy. Cloud means scalability, less infrastructure headache. But beyond those trade-offs, what are the sort of subtle, maybe long-term implications when an organization picks one path over the other?
That's a really good question. It often boils down to a few things. Your risk tolerance for data sensitivity, for one. Then there's the budget you have, not just for setup, but for the internal expertise you need to actually maintain a local system. And finally, how quickly you might need to scale up or down. A local system gives you ultimate sovereignty, sure, but it demands significant in-house technical muscle.
Right.
You need people who know what they're doing. A cloud provider offers convenience, elasticity, but yeah, you're trusting them with your data, and you have to accept their service model, their updates, their pricing. Right, trade-offs everywhere. Okay, moving into phase 2, structuring and organizing knowledge. We hit step 4, set naming conventions. This sounds straightforward, but I bet it's vital for consistency. You need a standardized way to name files so things are unique and clear across different departments. The guide suggests a format like dep topic version status, so you might get IMMKM v1.0 draft or HR claims v1.0 draft. Makes sense. And you can use text comparison tools. You mentioned cosine similarity in Python. That's like measuring conceptual similarity, right?
Yep.
Not just word for word. Exactly. It understands a meaning similarity. Or you could use commercial software like Beyond Compare. The goal is to spot duplicates or overlaps, then rename or consolidate them. But the real key, training staff for consistency.
Yeah, that was my next question. What's the biggest hurdle in getting people to actually stick to these new conventions? Is it just remembering?
It's consistency and, frankly, ongoing enforcement. People naturally fall back into old habits, especially when they're busy. That's why you need like really clear training, maybe easy-to-use templates, and potentially even some automated checks. Things that flag non-compliant naming before content gets too deeply embedded in the system. It's a behavioral change as much as a technical one.
Absolutely. Pays off in the long run, I'm sure. And speaking of detail, step 5, design smart storage with metadata sounds simple, but this feels like a place organizations could stumble. What's the most common mistake you see when people try to implement metadata, and how critical is getting this right from the start?
Yeah. The biggest mistake is probably one of two things. Either creating way too many metadata tags, so it becomes overwhelming and nobody uses them properly, or not having really clear definitions for each tag. So people just start, throwing tags on documents haphazardly, hoping something sticks. And it's so critical because these tags, department, topic, process, version, date, they're like the breadcrumbs for your AI. They help it find highly relevant info quickly. They boost searchability, allow for those department-specific needs like immigration's claims process versus HR's hiring guidelines. So setting up that centralized storage, SharePoint, Google Cloud, custom databases, whatever, with distinct drafts and final areas, it has to be done with a well-defined metadata schema from the get-go. And don't forget role-based access controls and linking it all to a master table for tracking.
Which leads us perfectly into step 6. Build a master table. So this master input table, maybe in SharePoint or MySQL or another flexible platform, it tracks all your knowledge system content. Needs columns for document name, date added, the approver, status, department. How does this table really function as the sort of central nervous system to prevent that content chaos we talked about?
It's your single source of truth. That's the simplest way to put it. Think of it as the ultimate index or catalog for your knowledge base. It tells your AI and your human users where to look, what version is the current one, who signed off on it. It's absolutely crucial for checking if something already exists before adding it, preventing duplication, and enabling those automated updates later on, during approval or migration. It ensures your system is always working with the most current, correct information.
Okay, makes sense. Now we're into phase 3, quality control and approval. This feels critical. Step 7 is review content thoroughly. This is where your subject matter experts, your SMEs, really become invaluable. They review existing approved documents, any new stuff coming in and looking for duplication, checking for accuracy. You mentioned using tools like Python's deflib or commercial software or just manual checks. But how do you motivate SMEs, who are often incredibly busy already, to dedicate the time needed for this, painstaking review?
Yeah, that's a key challenge, always. It often comes down to clearly demonstrating the value to them directly, showing how a clean, accurate knowledge base will ultimately save them time answering the same repetitive questions over and over, or how it improves overall organizational efficiency, which helps everyone. Also, making the review process as streamlined as possible helps. Maybe use automation to flag potential duplicates for them to focus on. That can lighten the load. The process involves, maybe renaming or consolidating documents to better reflect department-specific content, and importantly, logging all those decisions.
Right, showing them the what's in it for me. And then, step 8. Secure approvals from key stakeholders. This sounds like a crucial gate. The process involves a senior manager, often non-technical, and a technically proficient gatekeeper. The manager reviews, approves, maybe requests changes, SMEs revise. It's iterative. How do you balance that manager's high-level strategic approval with the gatekeeper's technical scrutiny?
It's a really important two-step validation. The manager is there to ensure the content is strategically sound, accurate from a policy perspective, reflects the organization's stance, while they gatekeepers, their role is purely about compliance. Does it meet the naming rules? Does it have the right metadata? Is it stored correctly? They're checking if it's usable by the AI and the system. Before anything moves to the live system, it has to pass both checks. And automation here for notifications and tracking approvals can really help make sure nothing falls through the cracks or gets stuck in someone's inbox. Okay, solid process. All right, let's get to the AI part. Phase 4, preparing and building the AI system. Step 9 is prepare and convert content for embedding. This means taking those approved documents, ideally PDFs, you said, for consistency.
Yeah, PDFs tend to be more stable for text extraction than, say, Word docs, which can have weird formatting issues.
Right, so you take those PDFs and convert them into vector embeddings. These are like numerical representations, using models like BERT or Sentence BERT for semantic understanding the meaning.
Exactly. They capture the meaning in a mathematical form.
And then you store these embeddings, these meaning fingerprints, in a vector database. Things like FAIS, Pinecone, Elasticsearch. You describe these as specialized search engines that get concepts, not just keywords. Built for speed in finding similar information, even if the words don't match exactly. That sounds like the real engine room of a smart reg system.
It really is. That's where the magic of finding relevant context happens. But what about quality control for the embeddings themselves? Is it just about the source document being good, or can things go wrong in that embedding process?
It's definitely both. The source document quality is paramount, garbage in, garbage out, like we said. Poorly written or structured docs won't embed well, but the embedding process itself needs validation too. You need to ensure the model you chose is actually capturing the meaning of your specific text accurately. That's why linking embeddings back to your metadata is so important for accurate department-specific retrieval. And you absolutely have to test the quality with sample queries. You're essentially asking the system, hey, do you really understand what this document is about before you rely on it?
Got it. And that brings us to step 10. Build and configure the AI system. This is where you connect that vector database full of meaning fingerprints to a language model, maybe Llama, GPT-based ones, models from Hugging Face, tons of options now. And that connection creates your ARC system. Then you fine-tune the model with your own domain-specific data, like specific immigration policies or HR guidelines, to boost the response quality. Can you give us a concrete example of how that fine-tuning makes a real difference? How it improves the AI's utility for, say, a specific department?
Oh, absolutely. Let's take that internal HR support AI example. You'd load it up with your company's specific leave policies, hiring workflows, benefits information, all that approved stuff. Now, without fine-tuning, a generic LLM asked, how do I request vacation time? Might give you some vague answers straight from the public internet, may be generally correct but not helpful. But by fine-tuning it specifically on your HR content, the RAG system retrieves the relevant chunks from your documents. So when you ask that same question, the AI will provide precise, company-specific instructions. It might say you need to fill out form HR 123, available on the intranet here, and submit it to your manager via Workday at least 2 weeks in advance. It can even reference specific sections of your policy document. That's the power, accurate, actionable answers based on your knowledge. That's RAG with targeted fine-tuning.
That's a huge difference. Okay, we're getting close. Phase 5, deployment and initial validation. Step 11 is move and test content in the live environment. So transferring all that approved embedded content using automated workflows, you mentioned SharePoint flows, like automated scripts.
Yeah, or database scripts, Python scripts, whatever fits your tech stack. Tools to move files and update records automatically.
Okay. And updating that master table with migration details. The example given is uploading an onboarding PDF, then asking the AI, what is step 1 in the onboarding checklist? And checking if it extracts and responds correctly. What are the most common, maybe unexpected errors you tend to see during this live testing, like formatting glitches or extraction problems?
Yeah, you see a few common ones. Tables often cause trouble. They might not get parsed correctly, so the data is jumbled or missing. Images containing text are another one. If the OCR, that's optical character recognition, isn't perfect, that text gets lost. And sometimes, documents with really complex layouts, lots of columns or sidebars, might have the text extracted in the wrong order. So you're hunting for those subtle formatting errors, maybe broken links if they were in the original doc, or missing sections that would stop the AI from giving a complete and accurate answer.
Right, the devil's in the details there. And then step 12, conduct AI response testing with SMEs. So back to the experts. Working closely with them to verify the AI is giving accurate, complete, and importantly, role-specific answers. How do you actually quantify success here? Is it just a simple pass-fail, yep, that's right, or are there more nuanced metrics you track?
Oh, it's definitely more nuanced than just pass-fail. You need to test against a really diverse set of real-world queries that actual users might ask. Beyond just basic accuracy, is the fact correct? You're looking at completeness, conciseness. Is the answer actually useful to the person asking given their role? We track metrics like answer relevance score, maybe a user satisfaction rating if you can get feedback, and definitely the hallucination rate.
Hallucination rate, meaning how often it just makes stuff up.
Exactly. How often does the AI confidently state something incorrect that wasn't in the source documents? You want that rate as close to zero as possible. It's all about ensuring the system is genuinely helpful and, critically, trustworthy.
Trustworthy, that's key. Okay, finally, phase 6. Continuous improvement and governance. This feels like where the living document idea really comes home. Step 13. Train your users and communicate the rollout. A comprehensive rollout strategy sounds essential. Clear documentation, video walkthroughs, live sessions. But how do you manage user expectations? How do you stop people from either over-trusting the AI immediately, thinking it's magic, or just dismissing it entirely if it makes one mistake?
That's such a crucial point. Transparency is key. You must highlight both the incredible benefits, how it can save time, find information quickly, and its current limitations. Be upfront. Explain, for instance, that it's fantastic for retrieving facts and procedures from internal documents, but it's not going to give strategic business advice or make complex decisions for them, at least not yet. Being really clear about what it can and can't do prevents that over-reliance, manages potential disappointment, and encourages appropriate use. And definitely engage stakeholders throughout the rollout, get their feedback, ensure broad adoption, and be ready to address any usability concerns directly.
Makes sense. And the final step, step 14, which really circles back to Kevin Brake's core philosophy. Govern, maintain, and continuously improve. As the guide hammers home, an AI system like this is never truly finished.
It's exactly right. It requires ongoing effort. You absolutely need a structured governance plan. That includes things like scheduled reviews of the embedded content. Is it still up to date? User feedback loops are vital, easy ways for users to flag inaccurate or unhelpful answers. Plus, proper version control for documents and clear change logs. You need to know what changed, when, and why. And performance tracking is essential. Use metrics like response accuracy over time, user satisfaction scores, usage frequency, are people actually using it. You might, for example, set up a quarterly review cycle. Department leads could report document changes. We added 125 new docs this quarter, replaced 52 old ones, removed 22 duplicates, combined 33 others. And then that list gets processed back through SME and manager approvals, embedding, testing to keep the knowledge base fresh. And this includes maintaining the AI assistant itself, checking for updates to the underlying models, retesting key queries regularly to ensure performance hasn't degraded. It truly is a living system. It requires constant care and feeding. But by diligently following this kind of guide, organizations are genuinely future-proofing their knowledge, keeping it accessible and useful in a really dynamic environment.
Wow. Okay, this 14-step guide really does provide a comprehensive pathway. It covers so much ground for building a customized RAI knowledge management system. It's crystal clear that, yeah, thoughtful planning, rigorous quality control, and that commitment to ongoing refinement are absolutely crucial for success. It's definitely less about building some static library and much more like cultivating a dynamic knowledge garden.
It really is a roadmap, a practical one.
Yeah.
And maybe for you, our listener, as you think about your own information challenges, what single step from this guide do you think would make the biggest immediate impact on how your organization manages knowledge right now? Something to ponder.
Yeah, we'd genuinely love to hear your thoughts on that. If you found this discussion insightful, please do take a moment to leave us a like and a comment. We really enjoy hearing from you.
And if you're curious and want to explore further, we definitely recommend checking out resources from, say, the major tech companies' AI research blogs, or look into leading academic research platforms focused on AI and knowledge management. And don't forget, the open source AI communities, places like Llama or Hugging Face, have great tools and discussions. There's just a wealth of information out there to continue your learning journey in this space. It's moving so fast.